Welcome. This is True Prosperity, an advanced course in unlimited abundance. My name is Linda Leland, and this is Module 6, and the topic is gratitude. And the type of gratitude we're going to talk about today is unlike the gratitude you've likely known. We're going to talk about true gratitude. We're going to talk about loving gratitude. And this type of gratitude instantly places you in alignment with the source of all creation. And without this type of gratitude, abundance is not possible. So this is such a time of joy. This is a time of celebration. We celebrate things like birthdays and anniversaries and weddings, but it's nothing compared to this. So we're going past form, we're going past the physical world to everything that's temporary and fleeting. A Course in Miracles starts off right at the beginning saying that nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And then there's 1,200 pages guiding us beautifully step by step to the remembering of that truth. So it's nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And that something real that can't be threatened is you. It's the truth of you. And it's all your brothers too. It is your children and your family. It is your neighbors, your community, the people you work with. It's everyone you see on television. It's politicians. No one is left out. So, we go through experiences here in this world, and we have some successes, we have some seeming failures, illnesses, all sorts of trials and tribulations. But none of that changes the truth of who you are. None of that alters it in any way. And what is the truth? What is the truth of you? You are an extension of God. You are what God is. You are loved beyond measure. You are loving beyond measure. You are cared for and guided by one whose only purpose is your good. And you're safe. You're invulnerable. I love that word, invulnerable. You are eternal. And you've already been given everything. And so has everyone else. What more could there be to celebrate than that? What more is there? And we can forget this truth. We can forget it for 100 years. We can forget it for 100 lifetimes. But we can't change it. This is true always. When we're in this state of forgetting, we call that sleepwalking. And the Course in Miracles refers to it as dreaming. So we're awakening from that dream. Being deliberate and to be deliberate and intentional and focusing on the truth of who we are is awakening. And that's what you're doing right here and right now. And that's another huge cause for celebration and joy. So we want to get really clear on what true and loving gratitude is and what false gratitude is. Because, as I said at the beginning, true gratitude, loving gratitude places you instantly in alignment with the source of all creation. And false gratitude brings you instantly back to the thought system of fear and separation, the thought system of the ego. So this is really important. So we'll start with false gratitude and what that means. So false gratitude, first of all, is when we're grateful when things go our way. And the Course says that this is faulty because our gratitude is dependent upon the happenings of the world. And it also talks about unloving gratitude. And it uses the word attack, which when I first saw that, I thought that was a pretty harsh word. But after I really understood it, it's spot on. So unloving gratitude is when we feel grateful because we have more than someone else. We say things like, there but for the grace of God go I. Or I'm so grateful for this food because there are people who don't have food. So being grateful because other people suffer is unloving gratitude. And it really feeds separation, because love never compares and love never excludes. It's never that God has graced me with some things or some people with some things and he's holding back from other people. Nothing could be further from the truth because no one is left out. So that's why they call it unloving gratitude, because we are all one. And when you see another as diminished, you're diminishing yourself. So that's some examples of false gratitude. Now I want to talk about true gratitude. I want to get to the good stuff. And the Course in Miracles says that true gratitude, loving gratitude, always goes hand in hand with love. Where you find one, the other will be. And love is the source of all creation. So can you see the clear connection between this type of gratitude and your level of abundance? So now we're going to talk about true gratitude and what that is. And true gratitude, it always goes hand in hand with love. Where one is, the other can be found. And love is the source of all creation. So can you see the connection between this type of gratitude and your level of abundance? So what is true gratitude? It's being grateful that God has already given us everything. And we brought you there in Module 1. We brought you there. Module 1, at the beginning of this program, was seek ye first the kingdom, and all else will be added unto you. We're recognizing God as our one true source. We know we only need to look there. We've already been given everything. And gratitude is also being grateful that we've never left our perfection in God. And we're grateful that God's love never wavers, no matter what we've ever done or what we haven't done. God's love is there. It's like the story of the prodigal son. And we're just being grateful for what is true about us that can never, ever be changed, our oneness with God, our Christ nature. So I want to read a couple of great things from A Course in Miracles about gratitude. It says, loving gratitude thanks God for blessings that he has bestowed on everyone, not just on us. It also means being thankful for all our brothers, even those who walk the way of hatred and the path of death, aka people who are doing things we don't like. True gratitude is something far different. We thank our Father for one thing alone, that we are separate from no living thing and therefore one with him. We offer thanks to God our Father that in us all things will find their freedom. It will never be that some are loosed while others are still bound. True gratitude gives thanks for every little thing, for otherwise we give thanks for nothing. And A Course in Miracles also says that we really see the world upside down. We think that what we see with our eyes, the physical world, is what's real, and that our spiritual selves are not real. We think that what we see out here is real, and what's within is not real. And nothing could be further from the truth. That Christ nature, that part of us that is within, that is real, and that can never, ever be threatened. And it's been proven scientifically. It's just said that this is a holographic universe. Quantum physics basically says that the perceived world is never, ever apart from the perceiver. That what we're seeing is really just an effect of our inner state. And as that inner state changes, what we see changes. So true gratitude is not that we're being grateful for anything of form. We're being grateful to God, and we're receiving God's gratitude and love back to us. And I just want to mention, too, being ungrateful. So we talked about false gratitude and true gratitude, but, there's a state of not having gratitude. And why would we have gratitude for God if we think we act alone? If we think we're the one in the driver's seat, if we're the manager of our life, and we think that we are some biological accident or some biological event happened and we came in and now we're self-creating. We're not recognizing God. So why would we be grateful for God? So basically, it's just our lack of recognition that would make us ungrateful. And that's the whole story, the whole Bible verse that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. What that is referring to is that those who have that recognition of their oneness, those who have that recognition of the truth and God is their only source, are in the flow of love, in the flow of life. They have all the powers of the universe working with them, and their life just continually perpetuates that. And then those who are in the thought system of separation and those who are in the thought system of fear, where lack is the result, and they continuously perpetuate that too. So this type of gratitude remedies that perception and remedies that recognition. And true loving gratitude can be difficult for some. A Course in Miracles says, loving gratitude is difficult for those who see the world amiss. And they're referring to as being difficult for those who are just really narrow-minded and feeling separate and large and in charge. It's difficult. And this type of gratitude is also really difficult if you don't feel worthy of God's love. That's such a block to your receiving. And you really want to address that, and that's why we came in with modules 3 and 4. That's something that you want to unearth and you want to forgive, because you are absolutely never, no matter what you've done or not done, unworthy of this truth, and you've never changed it. And I love when Jesus says in A Course in Miracles, a perfect child of God, the only one who has forgotten this is you. The only one who has forgotten how loved you are is you. And as soon as you stop rejecting this truth, happiness and unlimited abundance is your state of being. It's a life force. It's right up there with unconditional love. It's not a cute idea, this gratitude that you write, everything in your day in form that you're grateful for in your journal before you go to bed at night to try to manifest more things. It's not an activity that we do to get more. This gratitude places you in your right mind. And it abolishes conflict and sickness and all forms of lack. This is really a way of correcting your thoughts of separateness and fear and being alone. And it recognizes the truth. We're told that enlightenment is but a recognition. It's not some lofty goal that takes forever. It is a recognition. And this type of gratitude recognizes the truth. So here you go. Here it is. And it also states that this type of gratitude will shorten your learning time beyond longer than you could ever dream of. So we're so glad you're here. This really wraps up Module 6. I just want to talk to you about your practice. And before we do that, I just want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for no longer diminishing yourself, because you're no longer diminishing me. You're no longer diminishing all of us. You are raising us all up. They say that when the tide raises but an inch, all boats are raised up. And that's what you're doing. You are bringing more light to this world, into all of us. And that is so worthy of true gratitude. So let's talk about your practice for this week. We've included workbook lessons 195 and lessons 123 for you, and it'll be in your module content. And before we go further, I just want to read a couple of things to you from lesson 123. This is just a snippet of the beauty that's in there. So I'd really like you to read it. It actually makes me cry. It says, "Be glad today in loving thankfulness. Your Father has not left you to yourself, nor let you wander in the dark alone. Be grateful He has saved you from the self you thought you made to take the place of Him and His creation. Give Him thanks today. Today, in gratitude, we lift our hearts above despair and raise our thankful eyes, no longer looking downward to the dust. We sing the song of thankfulness today in honor of the self that God has willed to be our true identity in Him. Today we smile on everyone we see and walk with lightened footsteps as we go to do what is appointed us to do. He will offer you the thanks you give and give them back 100,000 more than they were given. He will bless your gifts by sharing them with you, and so they grow in power and in strength until they fill the world with gladness and with gratitude. This holy half hour given him will be returned to you in terms of years for every second. Power to save the world, eons more quickly for your thanks to him. Receive his thanks, and you will understand how lovingly he holds you in his mind, how deep and limitless his care for you, how perfect his gratitude to you. So I just love that. So our practice for this week is the holy half hour. And this is a very intimate practice. And I want you to take a half hour away from the world, away from all the happenings of form, away from all the things of the physical world. I want you to dedicate 30 minutes to this holy half hour. And I want you to start by reading lessons 123 and 195 because they just really put you in a good space. And then what I'm inviting you to do is to get a pen and a piece of paper and write a letter of gratitude to God for the first 15 minutes. I want you to write a letter thanking the Father from his child. And this is not a gratitude list of things in form. This is a letter to God, thanking him for his unconditional love, thanking him for the hundreds of attributes of love that he has bestowed on you. I mean, this alone will make you cry. And I love writing it because it really keeps you focused and on your gratitude for God. And after that first 15 minutes, I want you to take the second 15 minutes and I want you to write a letter back to you from God, expressing God's love and gratitude for you. God lives in you. God's voice is your voice. You share his holy mind. So I want you to really open your heart to him and let that love and that gratitude that God has for you flow through your pen and back onto that piece of paper. And don't let any little thoughts of doubt or petty anxieties get in your way. If you feel resistance to this, if you find some new doubt or unworthiness that rises up when you do this, that needs to be taken back to Module 4. It's great that you're seeing it and unearthing it. Take it back to your forgiveness practice and come back to this practice and complete it. 30 minutes every day. So I really hope you enjoy this holy half hour. It's beautiful. So that is the end of your practice. And for Module 6, we will see you next week for Lisa Natoli in Module 7, which is Living in Purpose. It is bringing everything that we've done here forward into the rest of our lives. It's not stopping at 7 weeks. It's never going back. We're going to be talking about living a life on fire, living an intentional life of love. That is true prosperity. Thank you.